Right. Well, everybody, thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Our Monday, second Tuesday of the month, Maximize Monday call. As you all know or may not know the sequence, this is a training Tuesday. And tonight I'm excited to introduce all of you, which I don't think takes a lot of introduction, as a very good friend and co-worker in Xango, and that's Collie Butler, 500K Select, part of the original Sweet 16, multi-million-dollar earner, living in Utah. And I know for many, many of you on this call, she has done tireless work for each one of you, helping you, coaching you, mentoring you, having meetings in her home. And we thank you, Collie, for that. And we totally appreciate your coming on tonight and hosting this call and introducing our guest speaker.
Well, Carolyn, thank you so much. And actually, it is all about our guest speaker here this evening. I am part of the Xango United Leadership, which are bringing these Maximize Monday calls to you, along with Carolyn Johnson and all of our other great leaders that you'll hear every single week. You'll hear a different leader greeting, a different leader hosting, a different leader training, and we have all come together for you because this is the time in Xango for leaders to unite, because we have never had a better synergy of products and story and timing and opportunity than we do tonight. So tonight's special guest is actually going to be teaching us how to build to 500K. Now, of course, that's the top of the plan, and everybody wants to get to the top. If you don't want to get to the top, just shoot for the top anyway, because I promise you, if you shoot for the top, wherever you land, it's going to be somewhere amazing in Xango. So I'm going to introduce to you Dwayne Dyer. Dwayne is actually the Xango Master Distributor, has been with the Xango since the very beginning, the very first distributor to sign up, the very first distributor to see the vision, and actually he'll argue with that and say no. His wife was the first distributor to see the vision, and he's a smart man who listens to his wife. And together, Melody and Dwayne have built an amazing distributorship, also Sweet 16, also multi-million-dollar earner. I've had the privilege of being a friend and have traveled the world with Dwayne. Dwayne is actually also the author of a book that will teach you what you need to know how to build to 500K as well. So let me turn the time over to 500K Premier Dwayne Dyer.
Well, thank you very much, Collie. And Carolyn, thank you. And all the tireless efforts of the great leaders that are putting these calls together. And I just want to echo what both of you have said. Xango United is really the pristine opportunity right now in the distributor field to have all the leaders unite and come together and share their time and talent on these Monday night calls is really remarkable, and it's actually quite unique. I don't know if I've ever seen it in the industry. I've been in the industry now for 28 years, so unbelievable. And I'm supposed to give a 1-hour presentation in about 20 some odd minutes, so I'm going to go very quickly through these slides. But I love the fact that Carolyn said they're archived, as Collie said as well. They are available. You can go back and you can review them. And if there's just one tidbit of information that you're going to pick up on the call tonight, then your time has been very well worth it. And I certainly appreciate, very humbled and very honored that we have so many listeners on the call, and you're taking time out of your busy schedules to pick up that one idea that will move your business forward. We have just a tremendous opportunity. We've had it since day one at Xango, but this is like the second wave that has hit Xango. There's a buzz at the Xango corporate offices. I live just 10 minutes away from the corporate offices, and I can tell you there's a buzz in those offices with what's happening right now, what's going to be revealed again at Vista, what has just been revealed with the new product launch, the Eris 2-Minute Miracle, and all the excitement that's bringing in and the new opportunities there. But I love this word opportunity. It's a seaport word. I love the fact that it comes from the early sailors. So much does, but it really comes from the ability to have what was known as an open port. The root word of opportunity is open port. And before you could do trade, before you could do business, before you could go to war, before you could do anything, you had to have that port just right. And so when that port was the open port, it created that opportunity to do that type of business. Well, I love this quote by John Shedd, an Englishman. He says, "A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for." that's what we realized, and we joined Xango. We had a very secure opportunity. We were vice president of a very large company, but we felt like there was more. And this was the same harmony that Gordon and Joe and Aaron and Kent and Gary and Beverly, they felt the same thing, Aaron. They felt like there was more to what they were doing than what they were currently doing. And they knew that their ships were safe in a harbor, but they knew that their ships were built to do much more than that. And boy, were they ever. And so, that's exactly what we're doing here tonight. We're going to sail our ships is what we're going to do. So I call this little presentation Building to 500K. And basically, in my 28 years of experience in the industry, having achieved very high levels in both corporate and distributor field, I feel like it's boiled down to where there's basically 10 basic skills that you must master in order to be successful in the industry. So I'm just going to jump right into it. One, you have to associate with great leaders, both at the corporate side and on the distributor side. I'm a better person, I'm a better man for knowing great leaders in this industry. I'm elevated by the work that they do and the work ethic that they do. I'm elevated when I work with people like Gordon and Joe and Aaron and Gary and Beverly and Kent here on the slide. Every one of them have tremendous skill sets that elevate me to be a better person and a better business person. And so I congratulate you for finding Xango and finding the opportunity to work with great leadership at both the corporate side and on the distributor side. We truly have great leadership here throughout the organization. Number two, you've got to learn to leverage you. You've got to leverage your time. If you're trading time for money, there just simply isn't enough time in a day to earn the kind of potential that you have the ability to earn. I had a very good friend who was a rheumatologist and arthritis specialist, and he and I bought BMWs at the same time together. And I loved his work ethic, but the only way he could make more money was by either trying to invest smarter and in a downturn market that oftentimes would be disastrous for him, or he had to put more patients through his practice. So instead of visiting with them for 18 to 20 minutes, he had to figure out how to visit with them from 8 to 12 minutes. Or he had to sleep overnight in ER rooms where they would pay him $750 an hour to spend the night there. Well, he could pick up some pretty good pocket change by sleeping in ER rooms, but at the sacrifice of his family and often sleep. Because if that person sawed into their finger at 2 a.m. or did something where he had an emergency through the night, he still had to go to his practice the next day. And so he would literally look hammered the next day. And so with our business, you can learn to leverage you. If I have an opportunity to work and sponsor someone on the East Coast, which is 2 to 3 hours ahead of where I might be on the West Coast, I'm already leveraging my day by an extra 3 hours. If I have an opportunity to sponsor someone who then sponsors someone in a foreign country, I can leverage my time by 15 hours, 17 hours, 18 hours, or more. Oftentimes in my business, I will have people that are starting their day and going to work building their Xango business while I'm going to bed. Now, if I leverage my time that way, I'm leveraging my income. And I have really an unlimited ability to advance my income. And so learning to leverage is absolutely critical in establishing the kind of incomes that you want to do with the business. Number three, you've got to learn how to share your products. I give tribute here to Bob Schmidt. He was just a jewel of a man and a great leader in our industry. And unfortunately, I just got to know him a short time while he was here before his passing. But Bob taught me a great lesson one day. We went to lunch with some of the Xango founders, and we were right next to the Xango corporate offices. When Xango opened, we moved from Dallas, Texas, to be right up next to the Xango offices so that we would have an opportunity to work right with the founders in the office because we felt that was important. And Bob came in. We all went to lunch one day, and Bob said, "Shame on you." He says, "Not one of you have your Xango juice with you for lunch." And he pulled out his little Xango bottle that he had. He had a little thing where if you turned it over, it put so much juice into the one side of it, and so it created automatically the shot that he needed. And he said, don't you realize what an opportunity you have here? And I have watched this over and over and over again. I've watched when you actually have the product with you. Let me tell you a great little story in a very short period of time. When we were looking at opening the country of Taiwan, one of our distributors in Texas found out about it, and he decided that for the next 30 days he was only going to eat. Now, he loved to eat. He was a very large man, and he told his group, he said, I love to eat lunch. And he says, for the next 30 days, we're only going to eat in Chinese restaurants. And so for the next 30 days, every day they went into a Chinese restaurant. He put down a bottle of Xango juice, and when the owner or the waitress or waiter came to the server came over to him, he would present them with a bottle of Xango juice. And he said, this is for good luck. We know that you appreciate good luck, and this is a great product that will bring your business good luck. Well, he did that to one of the little Chinese restaurants, and he figured it was the owner's daughter that was serving him. It actually turned out to be the owner. And she immediately asked, is this network marketing or multi-level marketing? And he said, yes, it is. She says, I love network marketing. She says, my family loves network marketing. He says, where are you from? She said, Taiwan. He said, well, we're opening Taiwan. She says, I want to go. Well, fast forward, this individual never left Texas, but he ended up building a monstrous organization, over 400,000 in purchase volume out of Taiwan without ever making a trip there by sponsoring that one person at that one Chinese restaurant. So I give tribute here to Bob Schmidt because he taught me this lesson, and wherever I go, I make sure I have product with me, and when we have lunches, we try to have the product with us, and we try and make it a conversational piece because it is a door opener. And sharing the products is where everything happens in Xango. There's no commission paid until a product is bought or sold. And so you have to become very good at simply sharing your products. And do we sell? You know, I like to think that we share. We really share our product stories. That's what we do. We share what we have, and we share the knowledge that the products have brought. And if you're passionate about that, it will rub off on other people, and your volume will grow. It is a natural thing, and I'm telling you, it happens every single time. So learn to share your products by having them with you and showing them and sharing with people what they are capable of doing. Number 4, sponsoring. Sponsoring is key to your business, and I'm using the term sponsor to also talk about distributors and customers. Bringing on a new customer, bringing on a new distributor is the heartbeat of your business because it gives you the opportunity to expand your circle of influence. It was Stephen R. Covey that said, if you expand your circle of influence, you expand your ability to earn income, and it is true. When you sponsor, you bring people with you to events. We're going to talk about that more here. You got to sponsor the right people. Now look at this slide here. You see you can count them across there, but we're looking at the one. Industry averages hold true for Xango pretty much, although the 2-minute miracle might be skewing this because it is such a strong product and so many people are receiving such a positive response so quickly that's probably skewing the averages in the industry. But industry averages are 1 in 17 people are what it takes to find the one that you're looking for that will actually help you with your team. So people can get discouraged if they sponsor 4, 5, or 6 people and their group isn't growing like the way they think it should. But you need to remember, it really takes the right people. Now, like Jim Rohn says, you get better at it simply by doing it. It's not that the task becomes any easier. It's that your ability to perform the task becomes easier. And so the more you do it, the better it gets. Now, people say to me, what do you expect a new person to do when they join your team? And I tell them nothing. I expect them to do nothing. I expect them only to be on a call with me, to be on a webinar with me, to listen to what I'm going to say, and then to bring a few of their people to me. And then I expect them to listen, either in a meeting at a restaurant or a meeting in a coffee shop or a meeting in my home or a 3-way call. I just expect them to bring a person to me and listen, because what will happen is the mentoring effect will happen. See, people expect a new person to come on board and be instantly successful in driving the volume forward. It's not going to happen. What is going to happen is their ability to be mentored by you or by your upline. And so I tell people, learn to find out who your first upline premier is. In fact, Xango will actually provide for you the actual people that are upline from you up to your upline premier, and that's what you need to find out, because those are the people who have gone through the refiner's fire. They become more successful at it because they're more comfortable with it. It's not that their ability has been able to be increased. It's not that the task has gotten easier, it's that their ability to perform the task has gotten easier because they've simply been able to learn how to do it better. And we could spend just an hour on sponsoring the right people. We don't have that time tonight, but it really is critical to your organization to get the right people. Sponsoring, attend every meeting and bring somebody. This is an actual meeting in Bogota, Colombia that we went to, and that meeting, they flocked to that. That's one room. I tease them and say I think they were selling cocaine before they were Xango distributors. You have a house that big and have that giant room there. And of course, I'm stereotyping Colombia. They're actually great people, and they have this great facility there, but they fill it. And they've learned how to bring people and make it a social event. And so bring someone to those events. We've got a great event coming up. I think Holly and maybe Carolyn will speak to this a little bit here at the end of the call, but we have this super Xango Vista Leadership Summit coming in Las Vegas where your guests can meet each of the Xango founders. And, you know, I have to tell you how unique our Xango founders are, having been in other companies and been in senior leadership positions, watching them be escorted in, I'm talking about the founders of the company be escorted out. They leave immediately after the meeting's over. Not the Xango founders. The Xango founders will be the last ones in the room and will turn off the lights before they leave. It's amazing how they'll be right there to take photos, to shake hands, to sign autograph for them. But the reason is because they love people. I know a lot of names in the business. I know Carolyn and Collie and Grace and Sandy and other great leaders in our company know a lot of people, but I would put them up, any one of them up against Joe Morton. I think Joe Morton knows just about every single leader by full name and by location, which is quite remarkable when you're talking a couple of thousand leaders in the company. But that's how close they are to it. So point number 5, make sure you really know your global compensation plan. It is a global plan. It's exciting. It's dynamic. It has a tremendous opportunity as far as payout, both at the customer level and at the distributor level. And I encourage you to get with your leaders who have experienced the plan and ask them the hard questions and really get to know the compensation plan, because you can make early on mistakes that will cost you literally hundreds or thousands of dollars later on if you don't know your compensation plan. And by working with great leaders, I'm still learning things when I work with the leaders. It's really amazing how well, and all the Xango people who run commissions, people like Ron Otterstrom, I bring up his name because he's been with Xango. I think he was the number 2 or number 3 employee to be hired at the company, and he's our director of commissions. He knows the compensation plan inside and out. He's available by email, but so are your leaders. And so learn the compensation plan. And that, I'm reading some of the comments here. I am laughing out loud too. Yes, that is me on the money. And that was, I believe, in Japan, and they did outright laugh when I showed that to them. But I didn't want to disrespect the leaders of their nation, but I thought it was kind of fun to be temporarily on their currency in Japan. But get to know your compensation plan. Point number 6, learn to master communication. Learn to master interpersonal communication, your group communication, and your global communication. We are not in real estate. If we were in real estate, it'd be all about location, location, location. We are in the communication business. It's all about communication, communication, communication. You've got to learn how to communicate really well with your organization. There's a great book about interpersonal communications. It's called it's by Virginia Saltier, and it's called People Making. It's a classic. The thing is ancient now, but the principles that she teaches in that are absolutely outstanding. Virginia Saltier, People Making, excellent book on interpersonal communication. Basically what it boils down to is every person that you meet, treat them as if you want to help them become successful in their life. When you get up in the morning, you get in the shower, the very first thing you think about in the shower is the people you want to help that day. And so you ask yourself, what can I do today to help my team? What can I do today to help Joe, to help Mary, to help Susan, to help Sam? What can I do today to help them? You start your day by thinking about how can I help other people, because as your volume grows, your business grows. And the size of your check is only related to the number of people that you're personally helping in the organization. This is really critical, and if you do this well, you know, the people say, what do you do the first thing you do after you get out of the shower? Well, the very first thing I do after I let the dog out is I go down to my computer and I look at whose birthdays it is. And I start wishing every single person that's in my group, there's usually about 15 to 18 to 22 a day, a happy birthday, because birthdays are important to them. And so I recognize them on their birthday. And then I start looking at my list of who I want to work with that day. I make either a telephone call, a text message, I will Facebook message, I'll WhatsApp, whatever it takes, I'll get to contact them. So I learned this from a man named Barry Borthistle. He was an ambassador for a great company, went on to build a tremendous organization, and he said, look, you answer your phone and return every single phone call, email, Skype call, WhatsApp, line chat, Google chat, text message, Facebook message, etc., within 24 hours. Unless you're in a camping trip where you're simply completely out of touch, and I hate to say it, but I even bring a sat phone now on camping trips because I want to just check voicemail messages and see if there's something that needs to be responded to in the organization. And I do it quietly. I do it so it doesn't interrupt those who just absolutely want to just get away from it all. But I found that people respect people who return their phone calls. And I know I get respect. I have respect for people who return my phone calls and emails and text messages within 24 hours. So learn to do that. Number 7, always, always, always follow up in your organization. Somebody's once said, follow-up is 99% success in the organization. You look at some of our leaders, and you'll find that the only reason why they ever joined Xango was simply because of follow-up. You talk to a person like Richard O'Brien, one of our great 500K premier leaders, and you ask him about bringing on how he was brought into Xango by Dr. Amanda de Guzman, another one of our great 500K leaders in the company. And it was a phone call after phone call after phone call, and rejection, 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 until finally Armando got Sandy Cohen on the line with him and said, you've got to get into this organization with us. We really want you, Richard, in this organization. You don't understand. We really want you to be part of our team. And Richard says, how do you think that made him feel? What if they had called one time or 2 times and then just given up? What message would they have been sending to him? They would have been sending to him, we really don't care enough about you to keep following up because we really want you in our organization. And so always, always, always follow up with people that you're contacting. Number 8, be the example and be the mentor. Example is not the main thing in influencing others. It's the only thing. It's not do as I say, it's do what I do. It's not, you've got to set the example for your organization. You got to ask yourself, what would my team be like if my front line were just like me? What would it be like? And so you be that example to your organization. You set the example. Example is leadership. I love that definition of leadership. Leadership is just simply going out and getting it done, and people will respond to that action. The name of our group is Action 24 LLC. I simply decided that we were going to be in action 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if that's what it took to build the business, and I believe that that's what it has took. You know, yes, it was required some personal sacrifice, but yes, we made it to 500K Premier. But I couldn't say that if it weren't for people like Ray Heron, if it wasn't for people like Ed and Sandy Cohen, if it wasn't people like Collie Butler, I would not have been able to make it to 500K. These are people that are workers in the organization that helped me to get to my goals. And so I'll always be forever grateful for them and the work ethic that they have in the organization. So build solid relationships. It's called trust marketing. I was talking to someone the other day, and they said, you know, I've come to realize that they really don't buy the product as much as they buy me. They're really believing in my story and my testimony of what I'm sharing with them. So they really are believing in you and in your story, and that's correct. And I tell people I believe this because when it's all said and done, I believe that when this whole earth life experience is completely done, and as I get closer to the end, I begin to realize it's not that much farther away, you know, and when you look at the whole scheme of things, the only thing we're going to take with us, we're not going to take anything but the relationships we've made with people that we've associated with here. That's what I've come to believe. And so I believe that the relationships that you make with people are the primary thing that you should be focusing on, and probably the most important thing that you could be working on here. So build solid relationships with your team. I love the root word relationship. It actually just means do it over and over. LAT means to carry or to bind together, like to collate or to correlate. So that's where the Latin late comes from. ION is a deity word. It's found in the word religion, which simply means to bind with God over and over again. That's what the word religion actually means, the root word of it. Ship means that you're going to learn to do it well, like craftsmanship or salesmanship. And so the actual root meaning of the word relationship is simply to bind together in a deity relationship and learn to do it well and do it again and again and again. That's the root word. I love the word relationship. So number 10, know the why. Know the why of yourself. You should be able to tell me within 2 or 3 minutes why you want to build a Xango business and be crystal clear on it. If you're not crystal clear on that, you'll never be crystal clear on what your goals are. And so what is it that you want to accomplish? What is it your team wants to accomplish? Is it to be a stay-at-home mom? Does it bring dad back into the home? Is it to provide as a single mother? Is it to be able to provide better education? Is it to drive nicer vehicles? Is it to be upgrade your home situation? Is it to be a pattern breaker with your, to break out and do something that your family has never been able to do before? Whatever it is, define it. Because once you define it, then it'll be like the law of the universe. The law of attraction will start working in your favor because the universe will correlate to what your why is. It's a truism and it works. But you've got to know what it is. You've got to know what your why is. You've got to know what the why of your team is. It is true that people will work for money, but they will absolutely die for a cause. And that is true. And if people are passionate about helping other people with the products, if they're passionate about what the 2-minute miracle can do to their friends and neighbors and family members, if they're passionate about what the Xango juice has done, if they're passionate about the PICS products, and holy smokes, the new PICS products that we have and the new PICS products that are coming, some new ones to be revealed in Vista in Las Vegas, so exciting, so exciting where they're going with the PICS products. So this is a great time. I wrote a book called Mastering Network Marketing. I didn't want to write a book, but my son reminded me that we could take all the proceeds of the book and give it to one of our little granddaughters' foundation. She has what's known as primary ciliary dyskinesia, PCD. It's a terrible disease. And so we've been able to do that. All the proceeds of the book we've been able to donate to PCD. I bring this up because everything I mentioned here on the call in a very quick manner is available in Mastering Network Marketing. It's available through Sound Concepts and also available through Amazon. We give 100% of the proceeds to the PCD Foundation. PCD awareness, since we started this, now 41,000 views on Facebook and growing. Wish I could give a great report on little Penny, but I can't. She had a CAT scan today to look at further scarring that's been going on in her lungs. But it's a terrible disease, and unfortunately it's something that our family's got to deal with, but we feel like we're trying to do our part in helping to educate the world a little bit about what PCD is and bring that awareness forward a little bit. So I'm going to conclude with this slide before I turn it back over here, the call. This is a slide that's older than I am, and I'm pretty old. This is the family circus, and it's little PJ, and he says, "I can't reach the towel." And then he's crying to his mama, "I can't reach the sink." And then he's crying to his mama, "I can't reach my coat." But when it comes to finding the cookie jar, he went to very creative ways, and he was not going to let anything stop him to find that cookie jar. So I simply close with this. What is your cookie jar? What is it that you want that you will find very creative ways and you'll work very diligently for to have? So I appreciate you. I appreciate having me on the call, Carolyn. And Collie, thank you so much. I'm going to turn the phone back over now, I believe, to Collie.
Yes, thank you so much, Dwayne. That was fantastic. And I have gotten a longer version of that, and there are many great stories that go along with that, and there's many great stories in the book to expand some of that. And I want you to know that all of those things are true. To be a master in network marketing, and some of those things, some of those skills, I'm still working on. I'm still working on the returning calls within 24 hours. That's a hard one. I'm still working on some of those skills, and that's it. It's constant, never-ending improvement, and that's part of what these Monday night Maximize Monday calls are for, is to help you with your daily journey and your daily steps to accomplishing the goals that you want to accomplish. So real quickly, housekeeping here. We're going to go through this very quickly. Facebook.com/Xango United. This is where we put all of the archives under the notes section. We also post it on the page. For those people with iPads, apparently you don't see the notes section. You can see that on a computer. So we post it both on the page and in the notes. So if you want to go back and look at last week's, last month's, last year's, they go back all the way from the beginning of these calls. So you can find it there. And of course, we also want you to plug into Facebook.com/Xango Juice. That is the Xango corporate page, and you want to be plugged into both. Every Thursday night, they do a live stream on Facebook call, which is the Vox calls, the Voice of Xango calls. So you want to tune into those. Also, wanted everybody to know that your old myxango.com replicate sites that come free for every Xango distributor who signs up is now updated with a new awesome look. So your site is myxango.com/your site name. And if you don't remember what that is, just go to myxango.com, log in, and then to your MXO back office, and then go to website, and you can change your settings. If you need to update a phone number. But this site has been free and available to all Xango distributors for 8 years, and now it is the new wow look. Updated with 2-Minute Miracle, updated with the Pix products, and updated with the new Xango shopping cart. It's no longer a beta shopping cart. It is now part of your personal, custom, replicate Xango website. So when you go there, you send a distributor there, and they click on Shop Xango, or you can go populate the shopping cart with the products that you recommend to a new customer. And when they click on that, it will be linked to you. You no longer have to give them your Xango ID number as a referral, but they do have to click register to get wholesale. So if I was to go to this shopping cart and I was to put Eris in it, if I did not register, I would be paying retail for the product. But if I register, I pay wholesale, which we like wholesale much better. However, if you want to sell retail, any of the products, don't tell them to register. Let them continue as a guest, and then you will get the retail bonus will be paid to you on your next Xango check. So that's exciting. Of course, Xango Paradise, we're in qualifications for that. All the details are at xango.com/paradise. All you have to do is rank advance to a rank of 5K or higher. So wherever you were in August of 2016, by May of 2017, you want to be at least one rank further along, minimum of 5K, to join us on the next trip to Xango Paradise. Again, all the details are there, so take a look. If you're new to Xango, go to XangoPowerOf3.com and complete your 8 steps. It's make your list and your why and your goals and a lot of the things that you need to do to begin your journey. And, of course, Xango.com. Under events, you'll see all the events. Under the latest, you'll see all the latest posts right now. The latest in Xango is about the 2-Minute Miracle Gel, which is launching this week in Las Vegas. So you don't want to miss that. It's in actually pre-launch right now. You can still order the pre-launch in 6-packs, but it fully launches in Las Vegas, the Vista Leadership Summit. It's at the SLS Hotel the 13th through the 15th. There are still tickets available. Go to Xango.com/Vista for more information and to get those tickets. This is probably the most exciting event I've seen in a long time because we're launching the next billion-dollar brand, and the product formulator and creator, Shelley McGuire, will be there in person to teach us all how to do demos, how to do home parties, how to talk to salons and spas. And folks, if you want to build a business in Xango, 2-Minute Miracle, you want to be at Vista and learn hands-on, firsthand from the pros. So once again, I just want to close with Maximize Mondays, brought to you by Xango United Leaders. We are here to serve you. If there is anything at all that you want to see taught on any of these calls. Any of the leaders that are here that you see on the screen right now are part of this United Leadership to educate, to motivate, to inspire, to help turn your Monday blahs into Monday ahs and help you along your Xango journey. So thank you all tonight. Thank you, Dwayne, so much. And I look forward to seeing all of you in Las Vegas and at future events in our Xango journey. Bye all. Thank you.